HappyRun has been releasing some of the best value e-bikes this year. They have the G100 Pro, that is a 50-mile-an-hour e-bike with pedals. They also have the G300 Pro, which you might have heard of, and it looks exactly like a dirt bike with pedals, even though it is a hub motor. It has a 6,000 watt motor. And even though those are awesome value bikes, they still are well over $2,000. So what if you want something from HappyRun that's a little bit cheaper, closer to the $1,000 mark? Well, they have this, the HappyRun G60 Pro, which comes in at just around 1,100 bucks. And this is the cheapest 2,000 watt bike that I can find. And of course, it's a moped style bike. Oh no, they make us put our own brake rotor on. That sucks. A lot of stuff in this box. Looks like we get some NFC key tags to turn the bike on. We get some front turn signals, which for 1,100 bucks, man, that's really nice. They give us a 2 amp charger here, and this is a 25 amp hour battery, so this is gonna take a while to charge that battery up. Nice, they even give us a free air pump. That air pump. And they make us put our own rear shock on here as well. Surprisingly beefy rear spring. So putting this brake rotor on here, this is a 160 millimeters or 500 bald eagles since we're in America. Do I even need to say this is a 20 by 4 inch knobby fat tire? No less than, oh, it's not even a Chow Yang tire. So they give us some generic 20 by 4 inch tires. Nice. It's inflated too. And right here is our 48 volt, 25 amp hour HappyRun branded battery with a blue power switch. You know, it's really nice to see a battery that big on a bike that's under 1,100 bucks. I am about to become HappyRun's employee of the month because I got to install the kickstand down here too. All right, so it's like 2 days later right now. I got a haircut, I got a different outfit on, and we just finished up putting together the HappyRun G60 Pro here. And this is a pretty sweet looking bike. So I just want to give you guys a walkthrough of this real quick. So in the front here, we've got our Core-Ride hydraulic brakes, same ones in the rear over here. Now, I did have to fill these up a little bit in the rear here. And that's the thing with Core-Ride brakes that I've found is that I've had to fill them up or top them off or bleed them. I don't know what it is. They stop really good. They're really good brakes, but I have a feeling that they're a bit what you'd call budgets. And then in the middle here, we've got our 48 volt, 25 amp hour HappyRun branded battery, which is taking forever to charge because we only have a 2 amp charger. So I mean, from completely dead, this thing would take over 12 hours to charge, which is pretty insane to me. So it actually would take longer than overnight to charge this entire battery. So that is pretty wild. But up here, we've got our pedals that fold in for some reason. And we've got a cadence sensor on this bike, of course, because this isn't really a pedal bike. Then we've got our huge rear spring here, which is actually really soft. And that's one of the cool things about this bike is that it should have pretty good rear suspension from what I've seen. And we have our 2,000 watt peak rear hub motor in the back here, which should be nice and powerful. Looks like they give us a little bracket here that we can put a rear rack on if we want. They only have this in one color, I think. It looks okay. You know, it looks pretty utilitarian, you could say. It's not really much of a design on this. It's just kind of looks like a bunch of metal welded together, but not too bad otherwise. So I'll show you the taillight and turn signals right now, but let's fire this bike up first. So the startup procedure on this is you just hold this green S down, and then it requires you to tap this NFC tag, which is actually kind of annoying because if you forget the NFC tag and you're out, or if you lose it or something, then your bike is bricked. You can't do anything with it. So I mean, I'd rather not have that feature at all. You can throw this in your wallet and stuff, but it's kind of a big thing to be carrying around in your pocket. So on the rear here, we do have a brake light, and then when we turn our headlights on, it does come on as a tail light. And then we have our turn signals here, which are on the front and the rear. And you can see our super bright headlight. This thing is really, really bright. We've got like 2 bulbs there. And then as you can hear, it beeps when your turn signal's on, so you're not riding around with the turn signal, and it gives you an indication on the display that your turn signal's running. You also get an indication on the screen that the headlight is running as well. The headlight did also come with this little grill thing here, but I decided to not put that on the bike because I like the way it looks better without it. Then on the rear here, we have our 7 Shimano gears, which you will not be using because I don't know why you really want to pedal this thing too much. I mean, you can, I'm just joking. If you want to pedal it, you can, but otherwise, I wouldn't really do it. And then your front forks do have a compression and a preload adjustment, which is really nice to see on a bike that costs this much. And then for our cockpit here, we have these kind of risen up handlebars. And then this is how our cockpit looks. On the left here, we have our front hydraulic Core-Ride brake, which feels nice and firm. We've got our headlights on and off, turn signals, and then we've got a really, really loud horn. Oh man, that is super, super loud. Display here in the middle shows our odometer, and I don't think you can switch it to show your voltage or anything. Then you have a really basic battery gauge here on the right, and then a bunch of other little things here. Looks like we have cruise control and stuff, and kind of a cool little speedometer here, and then we have a digital one in the middle. So really nice bright display. Hopefully it looks good in the outside with the light and everything. We have our 7 Shimano gears here as well, which we've seen a billion times. We have our rear brake here, which is the one that I had to bleed a little bit. And in pedal assist 5, it says we're getting up to 37 miles an hour on this bike. We just have regular old standard kind of cheapo e-bike grips here. And how you switch through the pedal assist is you hit the S button, and then it beeps and switches you through the different pedal assists. A little bit slower than other bikes that I've tested out, but you know, it goes up to pedal assist 5. Luckily it does come unlocked from the factory. This is how I look standing next to the HappyRun G60 Pro at 5'9", and I weigh 150 pounds. This is how I look sitting on here. I have a 31 inseam and I can flat foot this thing completely fine. The spring is pretty good feeling in the back. We'll see how that is when we take it off-road. In the front, it's pretty bouncy, but we'll have to break that in a little bit and see how it is later on. But overall, pretty comfortable riding position here. You're pretty high up with these BMX, not even BMX style handlebars. They're just kind of risen up handlebars, but a lot of e-bikes you'll be down here or like up here. This should be nice and comfortable for you. Everything's laid out really nice and feels good. The seat does feel a little bit firm. It's a pretty standard e-bike seat, so we'll see about that, but worst case scenario, you could replace this thing. So I did pick up this G60 Pro with my own money. I bought this thing myself, and they do have a few other options here, and I wanted to see what some of their more affordable options are, because everybody's seen the videos on the G300 Pro, the dirt bike, or the G100 Pro Max or whatever it is, where it can go like 50 miles an hour and it's a crazy looking moped style bike. But this is a bike that's a lot more affordable to most people, so I wanted to check this one out and see what their sort of more entry-level bikes were like. But I mean, 2,000 watt motor is really awesome to have on this thing. That definitely makes it stand out from a lot of other moped style bikes. 25 amp hour battery, you should get a ton of range on this thing. They do offer the G50 and a regular G60, not the Pro one. That's kind of below this, but really they're right around $1,000, and this one is about $1,100. So this is looking like a pretty cool bike so far, but let's get this thing out and test it off-road and on-road and see how it is in the real world. Guys, so we're out here checking out the HappyRun G60 Pro, off-roading it a little bit here. And first things first, guys, this display on here is absolutely useless in daylight. I cannot see this. It looks like it's completely off. So we're using our speedometer app here for our speed, our GPS speedometer, so it should be accurate in theory as well. So let's do a quick little hill test down here and see how this 2,000 watt peak hub motor does. It is like 95 degrees out here right now, so it's really hot, and I've been riding this thing around a little bit. Yeah, so just having to help it out a little bit there, but I mean, still a pretty powerful bike for what this is. It's just not a super crazy hill climber, which is no surprise because most hub motor bikes are not crazy at climbing hills. Off-road though, this suspension feels really good. It is a little bit bouncy on the rebound, but it feels really good and helps absorb all of these bumps. Definitely way better than most e-bikes I've tested out. And I don't know if you guys can hear that beep, but that beep means that the cruise control turns on, and I have absolutely no idea how to turn it off. I hate cruise control on bikes. Like when I take my hand off the throttle, I just want to decelerate. I want to slow down. I don't want to keep going. I wish there was just a button that you could press to turn on cruise control. It is an incredibly windy day out here, so let's see how this thing does on the road. I can tell you that going over these bumps here, it is really, really nice and isolated. It's not as good as an air shock, but we'll see going down this bump here. Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's a little bit bouncy, like I said. It's kind of that pogo stick effect, but still really good nonetheless. This bike feels really good on the street. You can see we're going up a slight uphill here, and we're going about 31, 32. So I think on a completely full battery, you could get 33, 34, which is really nice to have on a 48 volt bike like this. It's just a few miles an hour faster than most bikes here. These core ride brakes are feeling really good. It's not a super torquey motor on this bike where you get thrown back in your seat, but it's more of a momentum where it gets going, you know? And this cruise control is getting on my nerves. So why don't we do a quick 0 to 20 here? Let's see how it does. So just from a complete stop. Of course, we'll go off the GPS speed because you cannot read this speedometer for anything. So we're at 16, 18, 20. There we go. Not a slow bike by any means. This is actually one of the quicker hub motor 48 volt bikes that I've tested out, you know, getting 33, 34 miles an hour for your top speed is really nice. And when we're going through the shade here, I can actually see my display a little bit, so that's nice. It's absolutely more of a momentum bike for sure. You know, once you get going, then you can get that higher top speed, but this isn't really a bike that's gonna be super torquey off the line, doing wheelies and stuff. These Core-Ride brakes just from kind of a panic stop there. They feel really good. Core-Ride has been good in my experience. This is like my third or fourth bike with Core-Ride brakes. And if I say Core-Ride one more time, I think I'm gonna go crazy, but Core-Ride brakes are typically pretty good. On pretty much every bike that I've owned with Core-Ride brakes, I've needed to either add brake fluid or bleed them out. For whatever reason, they've had issues where the brake lever would sink down to the grip, and you could still use the brakes, but it just doesn't give you that confidence, doesn't give you that firmness that hydraulic brakes are known to have. So on the street, this thing is great. If I was taking this on the street all the time, I'd probably put some street tires on it because these knobbies are pretty loud. And from what I can see of the display, it looks like it might be, it's actually pretty accurate, this display, from what I can tell. Just back here on the bike trails, this thing is right at home out here riding around on the trails. That suspension helps iron these bumps out really, really well. Definitely some of the better e-bike suspension that I've ever tested on this thing. We have our cruise control on now, and it's good for stuff like this where you're just cruising around, you don't have to stop quick or anything. Just being a moped style e-bike, it's not going to be the best to pedal, but we'll give it a shot here. So I'm in pedal assist 5. This is a cadence sensor, so just me ghost pedaling like this is giving it all she's got. Let's go down into pedal assist 1. You got 5 pedal assists and pedal assist 0. So pedal assist 1, looks like in pedal assist 1 we're getting about 6 miles an hour on here, and in first gear just pedaling along, you know, this is perfectly fine for just pedaling along like this. Second gear even, you can pedal along. The problem with this bike and pedaling is that the seat is wide, so your legs kind of hit the seat, and it'll get annoying after a while if you're going to be trying to pedal this thing long distances, especially without any pedal assist. So you're going to want to keep the motors on and everything. But pedal assist 2, gonna shift up a few gears. Looks like it's topping us out at about 12-13 miles an hour here. Flip around. It does seem like it's cutting power too. It's not giving us the full amount of power. It's not just limiting our top speed. So in pedal assist 3 in 7th gear, looks like it's topping us off at about 18 miles an hour. On throttle, topping us off at 18. Then pedal assist 4, pedaling at this point is useless. I'm ghost pedaling. So pedal assist 4, let's see what the speed limit is. It's limiting us to about 25 miles an hour on pedal assist 4. And pedal assist 5, of course, is gonna give us our full top speed of about 34 miles an hour on a full battery. Hit that big bump back there. Suspension absorbing it, no problem. This is a really nice feeling bike. I love the laid back riding position of this bike. This bike reminds me a lot of my EUI bike S4 with the riding position and the suspension and everything. The front feels really good as well. The frame feels nice and solid and stable on this. The Core-Ride brakes on here are really, really awesome. They just grip, man. Off-road, this thing is nice and capable. Although it's no dirt bike, you know, you can take it on some light off-roading like I'm doing right now. As far as range, it looks like they're claiming about 80 miles of range, which maybe you could get in pedal assist 1 going 6 miles an hour, but nobody's gonna be doing that. So realistically, on a 25 amp hour battery like this, you could probably get a little over 30 miles of range, you know, really pushing this bike and just using throttle only and everything. I've definitely taken 25 amp hour bikes 30 plus miles before, so pretty good range, especially for the price, right around $1,000. So HappyRun's making some really, really cool bikes lately. You know, they've got the G300, that's like their dirt bike one, and they have the G100, which is also capable of doing like 50 miles an hour, which is crazy on an e-bike. They just have this really powerful, I think it's like a 6,000 watt hub motor that HappyRun has, and it's really powerful and gets you up to a good top speed like that. I know the G100 Pro is like 72 volts as well, so I mean, just making some really cool stuff, and the price on that's like $2,600 bucks. So HappyRun's just making some really, really cool stuff, and this being more of an entry-level bike, I think that it's pretty good for the price, you know, around $1,000 or $1,100 bucks. You get a 2,000 watt motor, which isn't going to give you a super noticeable difference in power, but it is going to give you a little bit of extra juice for getting up hills and for eking out an extra mile an hour or 2 on the top speed there. This is a really affordable bike, and I think for the money, It's got all the things that I want in a bike, which is, you know, relatively powerful motor, really good battery range, and comfortable suspension. Suspension's a big one for me. I hate when bikes are really uncomfortable and stiff. So this is a good bike for me because it's got the nice front and rear suspension on here. And I could see myself putting some miles on this thing. If this were my only bike, I'd probably put a better rear seat on this thing. But I love the fact that it has turn signals and it has a really nice horn on this. And the headlight just looks awesome on this thing too. I have to knock it. I really hate the fact that there's no menu that you can go into and you have to just use this cryptic single button here to go through, and you press it 3 times and it does something, and then apparently you press it 8 for walk mode, but I couldn't get that to work either. I really hate how you can't see this display in the daylight either, especially if it's directly beaming down on you. It just reflects back in your face. Also not a fan of the cruise control at all on this thing. I just hate that on bikes that it's automatic, and it seems like a lot of bikes you can't turn it off nowadays. But overall, I mean, they get all the basics right. You get the really nice hydraulic brakes on here. You get a 2,000 watt motor, you get a 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery, which is gonna give you a ton of range, over 30 miles for sure on throttle only. Right now I've been riding around about 8 miles and I'm at 2 battery bars out of 5. I think we're just sagging down because there is an incredible headwind right now. You know, you get the turn signals and everything on this bike, which is nice to have on a road bike because when you're on the street with other people, you want to let them know that you're turning and everything. So I think this is a really value-packed bike for around $1,000 and I've been really happy with it. I'm not taking it too far today because it's really, really hot outside. It's like 100 degrees out here. It's super hot. So overall, you know, I really like the HappyRun G60 Pro. Like I said, I bought this bike out of my own pocket with my own money, and I think that this is an awesome little starter bike. You know, you get a lot of power with this thing. I really hate the fact that the display isn't very good in the daylight on this, but at night should be really, really good. Hydraulic brakes are awesome on this bike, and that suspension is diving down like crazy on this thing. Super soft suspension on the front and rear, so really good for absorbing the bumps on the road and really good for absorbing the bumps off the road as well. Not the biggest fan of the automatic cruise control and the NFC key tag that you got to turn the bike on with. But overall, I'd say for around $1,000, $1,100, I think the G60 Pro is an awesome bike for the money. And if you want to pick one up, I will leave a link in the description with the best price and any discount codes that I can get you guys. With that being said, guys, that is the HappyRun G60 Pro. Really awesome little bike for the money with super comfortable suspension and a powerful 2,000 watt motor. I want to thank you so much for watching, and if you do want to check out some other bike reviews, I got a ton on this channel. So I'll see you all in the next video, and thank you so much for watching, and ride safe out there.